All right. Well, hey, it's July 1st, first day of July, however you want to look at it. Anyway, and this is one of the few times where I'm not going to deny the magnitude or the ginormousness of an event, of a fight, and that is between Brock Lesnar and Shane Carwin. And when you start uh, comparing the two athletes, they're very similar, but there are small differences in there that I will get into. First, I'll break down the fighters, and then I will give my prediction on the fight and who I think is going to win. Now, lately I've been going down and watching Prodigy Fitness here in Ohio, uh, just outside of Springboro, Ohio, or inside Springboro, Ohio, and there are a lot of MMA fighters going on down there, and you get to appreciate the effort and stuff that these guys put into it. So, I started thinking, and I felt, they deserve the coverage just as much as boxers or anybody else does. So I would, cover some of the bigger fights, and yeah. Anyway, that's what I'm rolling with. Okay, so in this one, we're going to start out with Shane Carwin. He's 6'2", 265 pounds, or at least that's what he cuts down to. Now, some of you out there that'll say, well, no, Shane Carwin's 6'3". Well, Shane Carwin's 6'4". Whatever he is, he's an inch shorter than Brock Lesnar. Can we, okay? 265 pounds, he's 35 years old. He's 12-0 as a mixed martial artist, 7 wins coming by way of knockout for a 58% knockout ratio. The other 5 have been by submission. None of his fights have gone outside the first round. Now, looking at that, you would say, wow, this guy is absolutely amazing. Well, he does have one fighter on his record of any substance, and that is Frank Mir. And he knocked out Frank Mir in the first round. But that was AL, or after Lesnar had already knocked out Mir well, he knocked him out in the second. But it's still, you see what I'm saying? He did it after Frank Mir did. Or after Lesnar did. He knocked out Frank Mir. He was an NCAA Division II champion. He played NC Division IIA football. He was a 3-time All-American. He was a runner-up. He's a very, very accomplished Division II sports person. He got an invite to the NFL Combine. So he's multi-talented in that, and he can do a lot of different sports at a high level. The one thing you look at, though, is his competition. Who has he fought aside from Frank Mir? Who else is on the list? Gonzaga? Wayne? Really? Are these guys what you're going to go with? So he's beaten a lot of subclass fighters, and good for him. His record is 12-0. The one thing you got to question with the knee injury coming into this fight is, and most of all, never going out of the first round, is his stamina. How is his stamina going to hold up? This isn't just wrestling. It takes more to throw a punch than it does to grab a dude's arm, because you're using your whole body as opposed to certain muscles. So that is a big thing coming into this, is how is his stamina going to hold up if he has to go past the first round? Is he going to be like similar to, well, I don't even want to compare him to like Bob Sapp, because Bob Sapp isn't even in Carwin's league, but Sapp's a massive dude, but after 40 seconds he's done. But this guy's never went past like 3 minutes, 4 minutes in a fight, so we don't know about his cardio level. Where is it at, actually? He's got massive hands. He wears 5X gloves and all that good stuff. He's got the monster power. And, he hasn't been beaten, and he's looked dominant in the fights that he's won. Over to Brock Lesnar, who's coming off the illness, the intestinal problems and everything like that. They found out it was diverticulitis. He actually had an ulcer, and it was seeping out stuff into his stomach. It was nasty, which caused his body to go into overdrive and gave him mono and lost a lot of weight and everything like that. But they found out the problem. He changed his diet. He's got all that squared away. That's behind him. He's only going to have to cut 4 pounds or so for this fight, which means he won't be as drained, but he's still over 265 pounds. So it's not like he's lost a lot. He's 6'3", And if you say Carwin's 6'3", then Brock's 6'4". You see what I'm saying? Brock is bigger than Carwin. He's 32 years old, so he's younger, and he's got a 4-1 MMA record. His one loss came to that knee bar from Frank Mir. He avenged that with that knockout loss. He also knocked out Randy Couture. He went the decision with Keith Haring. So when you look at his quality of opponents, even though he's only had 5 MMA fights, it's by far it's against far better opposition than anything Carwin has went in against. If you want to talk about his stamina, he has already went the distance. So, you know, the stamina, I don't know if that will really be a question in this fight. We'll be able to tell when Lesnar gets in the ring. And I mean, he's been training with Couture and a lot of those guys in his camp, so I don't think the stamina is going to be a problem with him. He is an elite athlete. And when I say that, he is a Division I NCAA champion in wrestling and a runner-up. He was cut by the Minnesota Vikings, not a tryout to the Combine. He was cut by an actual team. He played in the preseason game, sacked Damon Heward, put him on the sidelines, and they wanted him to go to Europe just to get a little bit more experience and then have him play in the NFL. This isn't Division II football, man. This is the NFL. You see what I'm saying? So everything Carwin has done, Lesnar has one-upped him in that statement. So whatever you say about Carwin, add an extra on there to Lesnar, and there you go. He has the power, but he can flat out wrestle anybody out there. At that weight, you're not going to beat him in wrestling. He's got the moves. He can pin you down. He can stay on top. He can ride you. Ask Haring, you know, Couture, you know, those guys. He has 3X gloves. His hands aren't as big as Carwin's, but dude, 3X, man, it's a freaking monster. So when you start talking about what he's doing, everything he's doing, he's getting better. We're seeing better from him, and he hasn't had the submissions I would give to Carwin, but as far as flat out abilities and everything, it's Lesnar all the way. And I think we're going to see that in this fight. We're going to see Carwin going up against a man that is every bit as big, if not bigger and better, more athletic than he is. And that is going to be the undoing. And I think Lesnar takes this one. And I don't think it'll be by knockout. I think it'll be, you know, I think he's going to take Carwin late and, you know, go from there. I think Lesnar wins. I can't. MMA is so tough to predict a knockout, submission, decision. Very, very, very tough. It could change in the blink of an eye. But I think Lesnar takes this fight. Okay? Well, rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. And it's a Bigragu. I'm out.